how to add private and public links. And so we've covered some, some rather basic questions, and I just want you all to be patient with us here, because remember I was sharing with you, we have two different levels of individuals on our webinars now. One level is that individual that has not gone through the 2-day workshop. So obviously some of those questions may be a little more basic, which is absolutely nothing wrong with that, because that's what that's what we're here for, is to handle all levels. And then those of you that have been through the 2-day workshop, a lot of your questions are a little bit more senior, which I would expect them to be after the 2-day Investment Dominator workshop, and you've had a chance to go back and maybe implement some of what you've learned in your business. So with those two mindsets on the same call, I'm gonna try to cover some basic questions, and then I'll go back and hit some more advanced questions. This one might be considered more of an advanced question, but you will come up against it sooner or later, because you're at the point where you're adding listings. I've even got a couple of questions here on listings and setting up listings in the Investment Dominator. So one of the key things when you're ready, after you've gone through the deal flow, after you've done your preliminary research, someone has said, hey, I want an offer on my property. You've given them an offer. They have come back, said, I accept your offer. Now you're doing your research. You're doing a deep dive now, because you want to market that property. So you go, obviously, I'll just open it up. From pending preliminary research, to offer option sent. And then of course, when they say I accept your offer, you're going to open escrow here, and you're going to do a detailed search. Now, after you do that detailed search and you've gotten all your information from the county, your next step is to complete ready to sell. And I'm just going to say this one little interject here before I get into the, how do you add private and public links. One thing that our students are getting kind of hung up on, doing this detailed research here. Okay, and I'm just going to mention that real quick before I get into actually how do you add public and private links. The detailed research, I can tell from some of the questions that I'm getting with regards to marketing and putting these, when you get a parcel under contract, putting them on your website, the information that's being shared, I can tell that there hasn't been a whole lot of detailed research. And when I say that, meaning actually calling the county and determining if there are any issues with that property. This is a very important step that you don't want to miss here. So how to do your detailed research. And I can't go into it on this call, obviously. But that is something that is being kind of overlooked in the process. And so what's happening is, some students are putting parcels out for sale. They get them in complete ready to sell mode, and they're putting them out on the website, but they haven't really done a lot of detailed research here. And what happens is when a buyer calls and they're asking specific questions about that property, you're answering the question, well, I don't really know. You want to find out, if as much as you can from the county, about the area that particular parcel is in. And remember, you're calling a county where people have lived in that county for years. A lot of those folks that are on the county that answer the phone, they know about your property. They know more about the property in the area than you do, because they've actually lived there. They have driven down the streets. They've seen it. They've seen it when it's in rainy weather. They've seen it when it's in sunshiny. They've seen it when it's in, it's windy. Is it in a flood zone? And even though the county may not have it be in a flood zone, they can tell you, yeah, well, over there on, Johnson Street, it floods all the time. So it's very important that you get as much information before you go into complete ready to sell mode as you can, so that people, your customers that call in, you can give them as much information as you can so that they, they realize that you know about that property, and that goes a long way with you actually making a sale. So that's really all I'm going to get into about that. Is just don't gloss over your detailed research. So when you're in complete ready to sell, adding public and private links is a pretty big deal. And I'm gonna get back to and find a record that are incomplete ready to sell. And I believe you'll find this helpful when you get to that point, because your private links will help you have information on that particular property. Your public links are what you're going to actually show to the public. So how to add private and public links that will show up on your selling site, your view details page. Links are used primarily to provide the additional information to your potential customers. It keeps your listings clean, and it keeps them, from being cluttered. So very important to use links properly, and you help your customers also know information about where that parcel is located. If it's in a good school zone, if it's there's utility companies in the area, if there's information um, that will help them make a decision on purchasing that property, these are what your links are for. So just so an example real quick, so we can make a link that is, we'll start first with the private link, and you scroll down to the links area. You can see here in your record. And remember, this is usually done with the records are in complete ready to sell, because these are the records that are going on your different sites. So you hit add link, and we're going to leave it as private. And for this particular one, I'm going to put a map together, put a link that's going to actually bring up a map of a actual county record. So we can call this a county GIS site map. Okay, and for our description, we're just going to say it displays county map info. All right. Now this URL is HTTPL. This is just as if you were to type this into your address bar up here and go directly in. So that's basically what you're looking for, a URL. So you've already been on the county map, and you know exactly where that particular map is, where it's going to show up, right? It's going to show up in at this particular location, and along with that, this post variables, okay, is going to be a specific PIN number, or whatever that particular county map requires to find any specific maps. So you paste this PIN. Now this PIN is actually going to go to a specific parcel, the parcel that I'm selling. So I'm selling this parcel that we see the record I'm in. So this is going to be a map to this specific parcel. And once you have this information, all you do is you say add. Now again, you've acquired this information because you've been on the county map, and you basically copied this information from your address bar up here, right? When you're on a particular map. And so you know this is the path to get to that. You've also copied the PIN information. You know the specific PIN that goes with this property. So that's how you have this information. And you add that. So now you have this private link here. And so if you're on the phone with the customer and they're saying, hey, well, I'm interested in that land that you have in whatever county it is in. Let's see, this one says Duval, which I know that's in Florida, but anyway, you're in a specific county, and they call out the APN, and So they say, okay, you can come right into your record and you go right to your links area. And okay, don't forget to, I'm not going to forget to update your record so that it always saves your link, saves your information. You can come right in here and you can hit this link. And remember, this is a private link. It's going to go right into that particular county map. It's going to go right to that location, and it's going to show you picture of this property, what streets it's located between, and then give you all this additional information over here to the right that you can then discuss. It's just a quick way for you to see what that property looks like from within the Investment Dominator. So that's the reason for having this public, or excuse me, this private link. And now if you wanted to create, now this is not going to show up on your listing, by the way, because it's marked private. So those won't be seen. But now if we were to put a public link on the site, remember, public links will display on your property listing below the property description. So we're going to mark this one public, and we're going to make it real easy. It's just going to be a real quick Google search. So you can pretend this is something that may go to a website that tells someone about the school districts in the area. It may tell them about certain activities. If it's a big NASCAR area, it may point that out, and it would be an actual link that they could call up. Let me see, I'll get some of your questions around this as soon as I finish with this little this demonstration here. So our title is going to just be, it's a Google search. Description, we're going to look at just a simple Google search. No big deal. Again, the URL, this is going to be something that you're going to have from your address bar. Okay, and we know that for a Google search, what we need is a simple www.google.com. Now this post vars, of course, this is the specific information you're going after. So, and you would have all of that if you were looking at a specific ad on, for that area, and show someone, access to a good school system. You would have this specific information in your address bar, and you would take it, simply from your address bar. So we're going to say Q equal Arizona. That's actually a search. It puts this in, it's going to put this Arizona into your Google search location. So that's actually what this particular link is. And this is going to go, again, this is going to go on your listing. So we'll hit that, we'll add it, and it comes in. Now you could hit it right here if you wanted and actually execute this, but we're not going to do it here. We're actually going to update our record, and we're going to go in and generate a listing. Okay, and up comes our listing. Now, of course, this is not following our AIDA principle. It's not, it's not capturing our attention. This is not anything fancy. This is just to show you and demonstrate what the links are. And here they are. So this one link that we made public. Remember, in Investment Dominator, anything that you make public is going to show on your listing. That's one of the consistencies with Investment Dominator. So here we have, and when I click on this link from my actual listing, it brings up google.com and it puts Arizona into my search. So this is something where the customer could be searching an area that you're, consistent with what the parcel that you're selling. They could be searching an area and they come up and it puts their search criteria right there, and all they have to do is hit enter, and it will take them in anything having to do with Arizona, simple as that. So, okay, so that's an example of a public and a private link. And we're actually, featuring this because this puts a lot of information right at your fingertips within the Investment Dominator, and also will help you supply information. Remember, links keep your sites and your listings very clean. Rather than me having to put a whole bunch of words in here about whatever I'm trying to link to, I have one quick link, and there's your information. So that's what it is being used for.